and welcome to Feels Like Magic, the podcast where you will get the grounded self-development wisdom you might need to feel amazing about the person you authentically are. I'm Jo, a transformational coach, speaker, and author, and for decades I was so stuck in self-criticism that I never thought I would feel good about being me. Now I inhabit a new reality, one where I care way less about what other people think. I'm willing to show up as the person that I am, and I deepen into self-love and acceptance every single day. Honestly, it feels like magic. Each week, I'll share scientifically proven tools, things I've learned from the world's best coaches, and personal stories I know you'll relate to. Ready? Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful soul. So glad you're here, because today we're going to talk about some exercises that you can do to really come back in your body and release what you're holding. Really come into a little state of nervous system regulation. And the body piece can be so overlooked. It is such an incredible piece, and we need to be considering it. So let me tell you why, and then I'm going to take you through 3 practices that you can use anytime, anywhere. These are not big things. And that is important because, yes, it is great when we have 15 minutes to do an embodiment practice, or we have longer in life to go and do some yoga or whatever the thing is. It might feel really good for you personally and your body. But we also need shorter things. We need little things that we can do in order to bring our bodies back into safety. So why is this important? Well, we can't outthink how the body feels. So if you are going about your life and you're pushing and you're productive and you're getting things done, you're being the best mom or the best daughter or whatever the thing is, but your body is holding, it is going to affect your experience of life. And it's going to affect how other people experience you too. When we are in a nervous system response, which is fight, flight, freeze, or appease, we are essentially out of integrity in terms of who we are, because we're going into spaces where we're using a conditioned response instead of genuinely what we might say. So for example, if you're in fight or flight, your conditioned response might be really, really angry and defensive, and I don't have time for this, and I'm snapping. If you're in withdrawal, you might just be doing everything by yourself. So it's really important that we learn to work with our nervous system. And one thing that I want to say is, it doesn't mean that we're supposed to be regulated all the time. It doesn't mean that we're supposed to feel good in our bodies all the time. That's not what this is. That is unrealistic. It's like saying you want to feel happy all the time. It's not the thing. You know, we're wired for threat, and we're wired to have these responses. And how beautiful that our body has a natural threat system, right? But what we really want is to bring ourselves back to safety, particularly when we're actually not under threat. So a way that this could show up is, maybe you are really struggling to say something out loud. You're struggling to speak your truth. You find yourself just shrinking in rooms. You find yourself going along with other people's plans. You find yourself not saying the thing that you've been thinking for like the last 5 months, because something in your body is holding back. That makes complete sense, because quite often we're not encouraged to speak up. We're not encouraged to prioritize our truth. We're not encouraged to actually say the thing. And so not only do we have the mental gymnastics of that, but we also have the body. So what we want to do is we want to have practices where we can come into ourselves, we can come into our body, we can come into this beautiful vessel that we've been given, and just come home, be with what is. So these practices are not about, okay, I have to be regulated so that I can. This is like, how can I support my body? How can I support myself? How can I start listening to my body and what my body needs more? That is where we move into self-trust instead of self-judgment, and nothing heals in judgment. So you can use these anytime, anywhere, and you can choose. We're all unique human beings. So certain things that work for me in terms of my nervous system will not work for you in terms of your nervous system. Okay? So unique. So you want to really feel into what works for you. But I wanted to give you 3 of my favorites. Okay, so let's get started. First exercise that I want to give you is for when you feel you are really stressed and you're holding a lot. This is one of my favorite exercises. You probably have heard of it before. You probably maybe have done it before. So this might just be a reminder. So what I want you to do, this is one for when you really feel that you're holding a lot. Sometimes we don't even know what we're holding. So I recommend anytime is a good time to do it. Is you want to squeeze every single muscle in your body. I'm just going to squeeze my eyes closed. Really, really tight. So you kind of are like just squeezing everything, like your stomach, your feet, every single muscle in your hands and your back, and just so tight. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then let go and let the breath go. Okay. Squeeze and release. Pretty simple. Now that exercise, if you did that 5 times, notice what happens in your body. Notice how your body is before, and then notice how it is once you've done that 5 times. This will take you 1 minute to 2 minutes, and it could really turn your day around. It also gives your body and yourself permission, my love, to just let go a little of what you're holding. And this is so important because it's not the things that we hold that actually feel heavy. It's the way that we're carrying the things that we hold. So if we're carrying everything like, oh, it's so hard and this is so difficult and I can be so guilty of this. I'm like number one for this. Like this is my default pattern. Like everything is hard. Everything is difficult. But if that's the story we're telling, then what is the energy like that we're coming from? So I really want you to think about this. And I want you to think about, okay, how can I use this technique? What am I holding? How can I let go? Okay, so that is that one. Second technique, the next 2 are breath techniques that I really love, and I hope that they serve you too. So you can have your hands just on your thighs, or you can put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. That can be very anchoring, very, very anchoring. And on this breath, we will inhale and then we'll exhale. And at the top of the exhale, we're going to find some words that are going to bring some safety into our body and into our spirit. So I'm going to demo a couple and then you can experiment with words that work for you. So let's see. Okay, big inhale. I'm safe. Beautiful. That one can be so beautiful. Okay, because it just lets it drip into your nervous system, drip into your body. I'm safe. In this moment, I'm safe. And sometimes actually really what we're looking for is safety. And there are situations where we maybe don't feel safe, but we actually are. Okay. Another one might be like this. Big inhale. I'm loved. Notice what that does in your body. Notice what that does in your body. Now, if that doesn't feel true to you, if there's resistance, that's okay. We keep on experimenting. We don't make ourselves wrong. We hold ourselves in compassion and we keep on experimenting. Okay, so maybe next one is, I have everything I need. Watch your body, what it does again. So find words that you can repeat to yourself that are incredibly comforting. So one of mine for a long time was, I'm where I need to be. I'm right where I need to be. And I would just say that to myself. When we also bring in the breath, we add that layer of like, it really gets into our nervous system. Really, really gets into our nervous system. So that is a beautiful technique. Again, doesn't require a lot. I'm actually going to give you 4 because I've just thought of another one that might be really nice for when you are maybe at work or you're somewhere where you feel like you can't go and do the breath, or you maybe can't do squeeze and release if you're self-conscious, maybe you're in a meeting, whatever the thing is. So another one that's really beautiful for the nervous system. You take one hand, one finger, and just very, very, very gently and slowly, you just move that finger across your hand. Slower than is comfortable. Like super, super, super slow. Super slow. Then you go back and you do it on the other hand. Okay, and then you can extend that up your arms. And what this does is it sends a signal to your body that you're safe. So often when our body is in this response, it's because it doesn't feel safe. So we just want to reassure ourselves if we are safe. Okay, got this. I've got this. Yeah. And as I said, it's absolutely okay to have movement in your nervous system. That's the human experience. So no shaming, no making yourself wrong for that. Okay. So we've done squeeze and release. We've done exhale with sound and words. The other one, you could add on to that as well, just an exhale with a sigh. So if you can't find any words, sometimes just a sigh is beautiful. We've done havening, so just really slowing down on that touch. And then the last one that I really love that can be very, very grounding is box breath. So box breath is a breath by which we are filling four sides of a box. So we inhale, that's one side, we hold, that's one side, we exhale, that's one side, and then we hold, and that's one side. So you can imagine a box as you breathe, if that works for you, and just imagine that you're filling each side. So I'll take you through 3 rounds of it just so you can experience it, and then you can go and use it on your own. Okay, so ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. So we do it on a count of 4, and it's that circular motion. So we're going to go again just so you can get more of a feel. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. So, if none of these work for you, by the way, that is okay. That is okay. Have a little search. Find out nervous system practices that really do. But I wanted to give you a few for your toolbox so that you can really get into your body. Now, yes, you can do this where stuff is coming up and you're feeling really dysregulated and you're really overwhelmed, for sure. But you can also start practicing right now. So we don't have to wait until we're in that state in order to use these practices. And in fact, being able to use them now starts to condition your body, show your body, okay, I feel safe. You get to experiment as well with which ones are most effective for you. Squeeze and release for me every single time. It can just show you how much you're holding, but it might be something totally different for you. You might even remember something that you did in a yoga class 5 years ago and you're like, oh my goodness, that thing that calmed me so much. Beautiful. That then gets to become your resource, okay? Now, one thing I just want to touch on as we end, because I think it is important, is that there are 2 types of regulation when it comes to the nervous system. One is upregulation, which is not talked about very much. And then there's downregulation. So everyone knows we kind of breathe to bring ourselves down, to calm that response. But upregulation is for when we're in that space where nothing feels safe. It's a kind of depressive state. That's what it reminds me of. Kind of nothing is safe. I'm withdrawn from the world. I just want to be on my own. And it can feel quite low and quite flat. We can do something about that with our body. So you might splash cold water on your face, or you put a song on that you dance to, or you shake out your body. So we have 2 different types of regulation. And the reason I want to tell you that is because for a long time, I did not understand that we could upregulate the nervous system. I just knew that I could bring myself back to feeling calmer with things like breath. And then the final thing I'm going to mention, because it is not talked about often, again, is that journaling is incredibly soothing for your nervous system. Why? Well, your pen cannot go as fast as your mind. So you have to slow down. And in that act, and in the motion, the handwritten motion of moving across the page, your nervous system is soothed because it knows that you cannot be under threat while you're journaling. So I really encourage you, as always, as I always talk about, to give journaling a try. And if you're not sure how to, I have incredible resources that I'll put in the show notes. All right. I hope that was helpful. I hope it was inspiring. I hope that you just have a little bit of resource in terms of how to start working with the nervous system. This might be completely new for you, or it might be a refresh, but remember that your body is holding. Your body is so wise. And when we start to listen to our body, we can really start to integrate and be with ourselves on a different level. And my final reminder is to just have so much compassion for yourself and where you're at and the challenges, the obstacles, the life stuff that you're navigating right now. Nothing heals in judgment. When we can come from an energy of compassion and curiosity, your entire life can shift. I'm sending you so much love. Take really good care. And I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for being here and being you. If you're ready to dive deeper on your self-development journey, visit joannebell.org, where you can sign up to get even more magic, access incredible bonuses, and find out more about working with me.